The tornado came through here at 20th and Rangeline, took down this Home Depot.
A nighttime fire destroys an abandoned house in Galena.
What's it like at school the next day?
Within 2 months, the majority end up dead.
I just wanted to let everybody know I'm done with it, and we can simply move on to spring.
We tracked down Melissa Spencer at her home to get some answers.
Okay.
No.
I didn't. I was just checking it out.
I want you guys out of here.
As you're walking out, you'll see our Helping Hands Helping Others box. Where I'm standing right here at South Rangeline and East 44th, this actually used to be the Joplin city limits. And what kind of things does the organization do to make sure that children are safe?
Walk through Wildcat Glades this morning was quite literally for the birds.
We'll bring the testosterone and you bring the coffee.
It's been just over a year since the last debris trucks removed millions of yards of rubble from the disaster area.
Well, Tiffany, Tuesday the department had between 25 and 30 volunteer firefighters. As of tonight, they're down to 3.
School officials have called the vote tomorrow the biggest day in the history of Joplin schools.
So far, jurors have heard from family members in this phase. Who's testified today?
Well, it's been awfully quiet all night, almost like that moment on Christmas morning when you're waiting to open up that favorite gift. In just a few years, there are going to be kids going back to school right here where Joplin High School stood. So the tornado came through here at 20th and Rangeline, took down this Home Depot. The roof collapsed. People were trapped inside. As a matter of fact, they're still trying to get them out right now. As you can look over to my right here, that used to be Academy Sports, and behind that was the Walmart. Both are gone. Rangeline currently is closed from 7th all the way down to 32nd. We'll have further updates as soon as they come in.
Lonnie Grebe had that phone number for 12 years. As a contractor, he relies on word of mouth and his business cards to make a living. And without that number, he says he might have to start all over again.
Hello?
Without his business phone number working, Joplin contractor Lonnie Grebe is out of work. And after the tornado ripped his home apart, he contacted AT&T to make sure he could save one of the few assets he had left, the phone number to his business, which had been a landline in his home.
Well, just forward your phones to your cell phone, and that'll take care of the problem.
Everything seemed fine until November, when the phone company gave his number away. He was unaware of the change until a call from a friend.
Told my wife, they said, hey, the phone is no longer forwarded to your cell phone.
Lonnie says panic set in immediately.
We have that number on our business signs as well as on my business cards, and we passed out probably, 5,000 business cards, in the last 12 years.
He says he tried for weeks to get the issue resolved.
They had called me back and said, no, 2 wrongs don't make a right. We are not going to give you your phone number back. We're sorry we gave it away. We can see where we had talked to you and told you we would save it.
Lonnie called me shortly after that phone conversation, and we took action. We spoke with officials from AT&T.
After you got involved, then the tone changed dramatically.
After another 2 weeks went by and explaining the issue to other AT&T officials, they sent us a release saying Lonnie's line and livelihood will be given back to him.
I just want to thank you for helping me, help us getting our number back. And
also, a big thanks to AT&T for doing the right thing for Lonnie and his business. The company has also waived a number of fees and rates for people in the area that were impacted by the tornado. Tiffany, if anyone has a problem they need action taken on, you can get me at the station, Drew Moore, at 781-2345. Last August, debris trucks made their final sweep through the disaster zone, clearing what was left of thousands of homes and businesses. A year later, many of the empty lots which were left behind are turning into homes and businesses once again.
It's something like you would see in a movie. I couldn't believe I was actually in it.
Pamela Lockwood owns the optical outlet on 20th Street in Joplin, which was destroyed in seconds by last year's tornado.
It was just overwhelming. There was nothing left.
Her business and 7,500 other structures were destroyed during the storm, but before rebuilding could start, one of the largest debris removal efforts in the country's history began.
I think that was probably one of the most significant logistical efforts in this country post-World War II. We had 3 million cubic yards of debris.
It took just 68 days to remove the rubble, but the progress continues to this day. The pictures on the bottom of your screen were shot today in Freeman Health System's EagleMed helicopter above 26th Street in Schifferdecker, and the picture on the top of the screen is the same area just 1 year ago.
73% of the 7,500 homes impacted are either rebuilt or repaired and occupied, or have permits pulled to do just that.
And from above, you can see new roofs and framed homes sprouting up.
That's the start of a neighborhood, and One neighborhood leads into another neyborhood.
For Lockwood and thousands of others who work or live in the disaster zone, the rebuilding effort is a sign of hope and recovery.
Now, in just the last month, 2 months, it's starting to, I can see something coming up now. I can see that other people are starting to step into it, yeah.
Permits for another 965 living units for apartments have also been approved or are in the process of being built. Tiffany, it's definitely great to see life and activity return to such a devastated area.
I remember my mother holding him up by his hair and beating him with the other arm. And me and Connor were standing on the other end of my bedroom door and like screaming.
That's Kaylin's first memory of her mom beating her older brother, Zachary. Their mother, a lifelong drug addict. The family moved 17 times before the three kids were 12 years old. Kaylin's younger brother, Connor, felt like it was just a way of life.
I remember taking like bottles of shampoo or maybe even just a bar of soap and going down to the creek and washing my hair. And
for Kaylin and her brother, things went from bad to worse. The physical and mental abuse led to something far worse for Kaylin.
When I told her that her boyfriend had been molesting me, she told me I was a liar and I was trying to ruin her family.
Their mom ran away with her boyfriend shortly after that, abandoning them at their grandparents' house. 37-year-old Tony Badgley is Connor's football coach and has been a lifeline for Connor and Kaylin. Their story is one he knows all too well. He still remembers the pain he went through growing up with his father after his parents got divorced.
And making me feel like half of this was my fault. He'd tell me all the time, if you weren't such a bad kid, your mom would still be married to me, you know.
At 15 years old, Tony was left to take care of himself, juggling football, school, and a part-time job. Tony promised himself to make sure this didn't happen to his kids.
Because I knew when we had kids that I was going to be involved in their life.
For Kaylin and Connor, the physical abuse continued until one night Connor called Tony and asked him to come over to help.
And I could tell something was wrong right then. A lot of marijuana was coming out of the house.
Tony and his wife Sherry were at a crossroads. They both have full-time jobs and two younger boys, but they say something had to be done to save Kaylin and Connor. Tiffany, tomorrow we'll learn what happened next to the kids and what one family's brave decision did that might have saved them. A former Columbus librarian is arrested on felony charges. 44-year-old Catherine Krause is facing criminal charges for misuse of public funds. She's accused of stealing up to $25,000 from the library's account. Krause worked for several years at the Columbus Library before resigning in February. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office began investigating the financial discrepancies in May.
We went this last week.
Krause was arrested Saturday and was released on a $10,000 bond. A Parsons man is sentenced to life in prison for sex crimes against a child. 24-year-old Nicholas Joplin received his sentence in Labette County District Court today. A jury found Joplin guilty in April of aggravated indecent liberties with a child from an incident which happened in 2010. Joplin will not be eligible for parole for at least 25 years. The Nevada community lends support to those affected by last week's deadly crash at the Quick Dine. City officials have granted a demolition permit at the request of a contractor. Last Friday, a tractor trailer crashed into the building, killing one person and leaving three others injured. Since then, residents have written messages on the sign outside the restaurant. Drew Kimmel with Missouri Northern Pecan Growers is offering jobs to those now unemployed after the incident.
Yeah, we need help.
54-year-old Joseph Cole of Nevada was killed in the crash. Well, it was warm outside today, but the clouds had a tough time, or the sun had a tough time coming through those clouds. Let's turn to Ray Foreman in the Weather Center for a first look at our forecast.
Yes.
Rain, sun, you know, the clouds.
I know. Well, it really did happen. We're going to see some changes, though, later this week. It will definitely feel more like fall by the weekend, and I'll have the complete forecast coming up, Drew.
Check in with you then, Ray. Thank you. There are heavy hearts in the Jasper County Sheriff's Office over the loss of one of their own. Jasper County Sheriff Deputy Terry Tyler lost his fight with cancer. Tyler joined the force in 1991 and served as a detective with the Jasper County Drug Task Force and recently as an investigator with the Criminal Investigations Division. He is survived by his wife Lisa and daughters Ashlyn and Madeline. Visitation will be held tomorrow night from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Mason Woodward Funeral Home.
An empty lot in the middle of Pittsburgh could become the city's newest neighborhood. Action 12's Jessica Shear joins us in the studio with more on the story. Jessica, how did this come about?
Sounds like a good idea. Okay, thank you, Jessica.
Pittsburgh State professors hope a recent monetary gift will help increase enrollment in their department. Action 12's Jennifer Pignate joins us live in the newsroom with more. Jennifer, the plastics engineering department received a pretty generous gift. 2 Jasper County polling places destroyed in the May 22nd tornado will reopen for voters just in time for next month's election. St. Paul's United Methodist Church on 26th Street and the Joplin Housing Authority near 26th and Maiden Lane will be up and running November 6th. Voters were forced to use the Joplin Museum and Joplin Heights Baptist Church in the previous election.
It'll be good for them to get back.
There are 47 polling places throughout Jasper County. To find your polling place, visit our website. It's 4stateshomepage.com. Let's turn back to Ray Foreman in the Weather Center for another look at our forecast. Ray.
Yes.